larger than life. It is called Texas High School Football. Only one show can bring the greatest sport from the greatest state into focus. Lone Star Gridiron.
All right, everybody join me in welcoming Coach John Fish from Frisco Heritage. Coach, how are things today?
Man, they're awesome. I actually just got back from watching a little baseball action this afternoon, watching our kids out there compete. And, man, it's beautiful outside. That winter weather's gone. And, man, we get to enjoy spring sports right now. So it's hard to beat.
I love that. And if you could give people who don't know you some of your background, what you did before you got here.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, don't hold it against me. I'm from Oklahoma. I started my coaching career up there at Dell City, Oklahoma, which is a 6A school right outside Oklahoma City. Was lucky and blessed enough. Met my wife, and we decided to load up, move to Texas. And I got to be at the ground level, kind of building the program at Lone Star in 2013. I got hired by Coach Rayburn over there. Yeah. And man, got to dig in with him and learn from him and be mentored by him, and also got to start in Frisco ISD, which was, just for a guy from Oklahoma, man, it got no better than being in Frisco. And so I was there until 2017 and worked my way up to being the offensive coordinator there. And man, just the years spent there and seeing the DNA of Lone Star and how Coach Rayburn built his staff, built the relationships with the kids, and the way he focused on things really impacted me. I got my first head job out in Bonham, Texas. 3A school up by the Red River, and man, just a great experience. Had a lot of success in the first year there. Won a bunch of football games, and they hadn't been winning very many prior to. Yeah. And so just really got to get my first go at being a head coach, and was there for 2 years. Really enjoyed it, loved it. But man, we were making a drive every day. Just had a brand new newborn born, and so a lot of stuff going on, and we ended up going back to Lone Star for a 2-year stint. As I went back there, was office coordinator again. Again, not a bad place to fall, to land. And then got another shot at Woodrow Wilson High School, and the past 3 years have been there as the athletic coordinator and head football coach. And man, it was just it's such a cool place to be there on the east side of Dallas. And man, just an incredible community. It's kind of like a one-horse town in a 22 high school district. And just really got to be impacted there of understanding the impact that community has on programs. And that was a huge kind of change because Frisco is blowing up while I'm here. And so, sometimes it's hard when you open up a brand new school every single year to establish that real community feel, that tradition feel. So going to Woodrow, which is literally steeped in history and tradition.
Yeah, a lot of tradition there.
Yeah, it really, man, it impacted me in a way, but I also saw avenues of how you can really take your athletic program, your football program, and tap into your community. And so the opportunity arose with Frisco Heritage coming open with Coach Gilly getting the Prosper Richland job. Man, it's been my dream to be a head football coach here in this district ever since I got here in 2013. Man, it kind of feels like I get to come home. My family and I we all are within a 5-mile radius of each other for the first time in my coaching career. Yeah. So on a personal level, it's a huge thing, but really as a coach, it's a dream come true because I get to come to a district that I really feel like grew me, a high school that is ran so well. Coach Gilly did a great job here for the 7 years that he was the head coach. And man, getting to step into at this school and this campus with this administration and these kids, it's a dream come true. So that's kind of the long and short of it.
No, I love that. And had you just come from Oklahoma to Frisco, I would say, you don't really understand Texas high school football yet because Frisco is so unique. Yeah. But, the stop in Bonham, the Woodrow Wilson, you get it now, and you how amazing Frisco is.
Absolutely. I've gotten to see, I feel like, God, it's not until you look back that you realize really what God's doing in your life. And man, from being in Oklahoma, going to Frisco, then I went to a 3A school, kind of a rural setting, to going to East Dallas, where it's an urban setting, and in Dallas ISD. And I feel like God's kind of been preparing me along the journey for coming to Frisco, back to Frisco after that journey, and feeling like, man, I have a new appreciation for things. I have a newfound avenue of maybe doing things a little different that had I just stayed in Frisco, I wouldn't do. I just feel like God's really equipped myself and my family along the way to be able to really now be prepared to impact Heritage High School and these kids here to create something special and unique for them.
I love that. And, you're experienced with some turnaround. Frisco Heritage is one of those programs that hasn't had a whole lot of winning years. Yeah. So what is the goal, the plan there?
Sorry, I've been yelling in workouts. I've got my head coach voice. I'm having to train right now. I've been sitting comfy in that head coach seat. I haven't had to be on the whistle and workout, so here I am. One of the things I think that's really cool about coming back to Frisco is while we were at Lone Star, we were always watching, obviously, the other Frisco schools. Sure. And so my experience with Heritage up till now has always been, man, they have really good looking kids. Yep. They play well. They're well coached. Like you just always go kind of, what's the story there? What's the thing that's maybe holding them back a little bit from taking that next step? Because I'll be completely honest with you, man. I remember back in the day when they had Kane Nwangu and Amari, who played quarterback for him. Bubba Ogabor, I think was his name. I remember watching those kids being like, dude, they got some guys now. Yeah. And they always have. And so it's not until you actually get to step in, pull the curtain back, and you get to see kind of what's going on. And I think for them, they're so close. And that's kind of been the story. If you look at their scores last year, you see 5-5 record and you go, well, just a 500 record. Right. But then you look at their scores and how many one-score games they were involved in. Yeah. And so for me stepping in, it's really about taking not taking away anything necessary that maybe has been happening under Coach Gilchrist and the things they're doing. But man, what are the tweaks we can make that push that 5-5 to 8-2? Yeah. Where do we go find that right there? Because it's there. The talent's here. The kids are here. The support is here. There's a ton of support over here. But I've only been here for not too many days, but I'm already seeing little things, whether that's the culture in the weight room, the approach to just what we're actually focusing on. From instead of worrying about winning, we got to worry about the other things, the attention to details, the things that really we don't talk about a ton of winning. I mean, that was one of the things at Lone Star. We didn't really talk about state championships. We didn't really talk about winning games. We talked about everything else that creates winning as a byproduct of how you do things every day. So I think coming in here and really implementing those beliefs is going to see a huge result at the end of this, really a causation to the correlation of being more successful.
Nice. And then what about the district? What do you know about the district already?
I think that they're, obviously you got your top dog in Lone Star. They're a machine, and you look at the kids, some of the kiddos they have over there. I mean, carrying 20, 30 offers, and there's talent over there. So it's kind of like coming from Woodrow, where we were dealing with South Oak Cliff every year in our district. That's who we're gunning for. And I just got done, especially this morning, literally, I got done talking to our kids about you deserve to be in that same conversation. The talent level is not that different, guys. It's about how we're doing things, not what we're doing. And so obviously you see that there. But to me, when you get past that, you've got your Wakeland, your Reedy, you've got your Frisco schools that, there's going to be those that gets into a numbers game, and they're all going to be well coached. The kids that you play every Friday night are going to be prepared. But I think there's a lot of everybody's kind of fighting for those 2, 3, 4 spots right there, but there's not a ton of difference in all the teams. And you throw in a McKinney North, a Sherman, where they're kind of in the same boat. We're going to be able to match up with them, mano a mano the difference is going to be, what's the culture of your program? What are the things that set you apart from those guys? Because it's really not going to come down to the athletes on the field. It's going to come down to how we're running our programs, how we're doing things, and the belief that you've got from your kids.
Yeah. If all these teams have guys, it really, like you said, comes down to the culture. So, how do you get them to believe? Because that's 99% of it is believing they're champions.
No doubt.
How do you get them to believe that?
I think every coach, and it's one of my favorite things about being a Texas high school football coach, man, is every one of us have a different personality, right? You got the old ball coach guy, you got the young guy with the slick hair, which I'm not saying that's me. I'm just saying we all kind of have our own different personalities. And I think one of the things that God's really equipped me with over the years and continues to refine is the ability to reach kids through their hearts.
Right.
If kids can believe in you first, they can believe in the person that's leading them. If they can believe in the things that they see every day, that level of consistency, I think all of a sudden these young teenage men, they start going, okay, well, maybe there's some little more to that, right? Yeah. Obviously there's excitement right now. There's change, maybe a little fear from the change because it's not what they're used to. But I think really getting these kiddos to believe in what we're doing is really about the consistency and showing up every day and providing that opportunity that, man, it's a little bit different. The way this program is being ran is a little bit different. It helps having a track record of success. Obviously, if everywhere I've gone, we've never won, then that may be a little bit harder sell. But, I think it helps. But really at the end of the day for kids, man, they need consistency, and our program is going to provide that. We talked this morning about the options. You can choose to go all in, or you can choose to just kind of be an outlier. And then the more we get into that all in, the more we're going to have that belief, have that success we're looking for. And I think just the ability to reach kiddos that God's equipped me with is going to be a massive part of the success that hopefully we'll have down the road.
I love that. And speaking of the kids, do you know enough about them to speak about who we should be paying attention to, or is it a conversation?
Yeah, and I know that's tough when you come into a new place. And, I think the thing you notice most, and this is everywhere you go, the top kids, right? Yeah. You step in and you go, I know that name, I know that kid. So an easy one to go to, obviously, is Tatum Bell. Dude he is as advertised. The kid is a incredible football player. One of the things that I'm really excited about Tatum is, man, I think he sees this change as an opportunity for him to grow and mature as a leader. Nice. So I really am. And again, we're in the early stages of this, but we're establishing a leadership council that they have not had here before. And so being able to put 3 or 4 guys from each class into that leadership council and grow them as leaders so that really they can create that team ownership. Yep. I'm excited about, Tatum's one of those guys. He's going to step into his senior year. And we've all seen it where kids, freshman, sophomore, junior, they're still figuring it out. That senior year, that junior spring happens. And all of a sudden you realize, oh boy, time's ticking.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that switch kind of flips. And my hope is a kid like that, it flips, and all of a sudden, man, besides just being the incredibly talented football player he is, but seeing him raise up all those around him, I'm really excited about him and the ability to do that. VJ Hooper is another one. Man, he's a coach's kid. He is right now. He's recovering from a knee surgery. But I'm extremely excited about him. Obviously, you see the way he plays. He's a dog. He's a kind of a Swiss Army knife. He can play receiver. He can play quarterback. Right. Probably could line him up at running back. He'd probably be pretty solid there. He's just that kid that, man, he's kind of the nucleus of what makes that thing go. And so watching him work with his teammates, watching him be the leader that he is, really excited about him. Up front, our center, and that to me is the area up front where they graduated, a large portion of those kids, but we return our starting center, who is Diego Velasco. I've got Diego Valero and Diego Velasco, both studs. But really excited about Diego Velasco. He's our center. The guy will really build it around up front. He's a returner, man. He started every game for him last year. He's a dog. He's an absolute dog. Those are a handful of guys that right now we're really excited about. Maurice Caroma is another defensive guy that, man, he got that dog in him. You get to watch him right now, and there's a lot of fight in these kiddos, man. One other guy I want to make sure Maurice is another one. Another guy I want to call, kind of talk about. Let's see. Sorry, I wrote all these kiddos' names down. I got a few here. Brody Campos is another one. Watched Brody wrestle this morning during our workouts. We always finish the day with some wrestling matches out on the turf, and watching him fight's been fun. But man, just to be completely honest with you, there are at least 10 to 15 guys in this program right now that can all go out and be game changers. And so anytime you step in as a head coach and see that, you get pretty excited. Josh Greek, the quarterback, incredible leader, kid that'll be returning for his senior year. That kid can sling it, man, and he's got all the leadership qualities you're looking for out of a quarterback. Just kind of has that dude factor inside of him. Kids will follow him. So excited about that. Excited to see our defense and the way they fly around. If you watch them last year, man, they fly to the ball. I'm excited about that group, and just as a unit to see what they'll be able to do for us in 2025.
Nice. And finally, Coach, what about you? Are you an offensive guy, a defensive guy? What sort of changes can we expect to see there?
Yeah, I've been blessed enough to be surrounded by incredible coaches my entire career. But I've always been on the offensive side, kind of hung my hat on quarterback play, and have got to coach some great ones and be a small part of their lives and seeing their journeys. And so I am an offensive guy, have been kind of my entire career. I coached a little bit of defense early on, which I think made me a better offensive coach. So I'm a little bit more involved on the offensive side. So that defensive side, really the defense coordinator, man, is kind of the head coach of the defense. I kind of really try to be the support they need to be able to do the job they need to do throughout the week and on Friday nights.
Excellent. Well, Coach, I want to thank you for taking the time to fill us in. Look forward to talking with you more this season, and go Heritage, right?
Absolutely.
Hey Coach, Lone Star Gridiron has been the leader in Coaches Show podcasts for 20 years, and now you can get your own Coaches Show podcast each week during the season as a fundraiser for your booster club. Yes, booster clubs all over are using these podcasts to help their sports programs. You get to share the stories of your program and your kids to a huge audience and make money. We started with just football, but this year have expanded to make them available for all sports. Call 713-269-4620 to find out the details and get your Coaches Show started.